Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a little bit more data mining info for you. I like to cover this stuff as it comes out, keep you guys up to date if you're interested in what's coming to the game in, the next few patches or so. We've got a little bit of information on some stuff that's going to be coming in Season 10, like the new adventure mode. We've got potential information on one of the next gods coming as well, some really cool stuff, so let's just jump right in. As always, as it says here, data mining isn't always 100% accurate. It can sometimes be slightly different, or it can be like misleading entirely. For example, with Ishtar, when we all thought it was going to be Jumong based on the data mining, it turned out to be Ishtar because they were throwing that in as like a decoy because they don't really like data miners, let's be real. And I guess I can't blame them for that. They don't want all their stuff like spoiled by data mining before they get to actually reveal it. I understand where they're coming from with it, but I'm still going to cover the data mining anyway because one, you guys are interested in it, and two, I'm also interested in it. You know, I'm very invested in this game. I want to know what's coming ahead of time. That's just like my natural curiosity, so hopefully you don't hate me for that, Hi-Res. But yeah, let's just jump in. So kicking it off with new skins and cosmetics, first up we have a bunch of skins that aren't necessarily linked to any patch, so we don't know when these will be coming out, but we kind of do know they're coming. They're in the game files already. A new Artemis skin, a new Cupid skin which has a mount, which sounds very cool. Skins with mounts are always going to be interesting because they'll be a very like model changey kind of skin. New Kronos, new Eset, new Hell, new Mulan, new Nuart, and new Tiamat skins, all coming in unknown patches. In patch 9.12 we're going to have some more Monster Cat cosmetics, so there's going to be an avatar, a jump stamp, a loading screen, and a player title, all Monster Cat related. You know, continuing the kind of theme that Hi-Res does where they do like a crossover event or whatever with like a major event like a battle pass or something, and then later on they often release a few more cosmetics of that style like down the line. There's going to be a small event which is going to be Yule Fest by the looks of this, which is obviously a Christmas event, so that's probably going to be coming. Oh yeah, of course it's going to be coming in patch 9.12, I just said that. Yeah, so going to be coming in patch 9.12, which is going to be the December patch that we get. And that will be the last patch of the season, by the way. 9.12, they do 12 patches a season on the current patch cycle, and then we'll be launching it at 10.1 after that, which is going to be super exciting. Very, very hyped to get some more concrete information on that. We have some Season 10 information here, but not loads. Also, SWC, Worlds with Fans, player title and fountain that you're going to get for that as well. Maybe that'll be part of like the digital loot pack or something, I'm not really sure, but yeah, going to be a few cosmetics for that as well. All this white text is stuff that's like already been in previous data mining, so I'll have covered it in a previous episode, so I'm not going to go over anything in the white text too much, but you can pause the video if you want and have a little read over on like what skins are coming and things like that. So here are a little bit of information on patch 10.1, Ruby skins, Season Pass 2023, we already knew about this stuff, Buckwheat Bundle Part 1. So I don't really know what this is. Buckwheat is like some kind of crop, if I recall correctly. And so maybe some kind of like farming related skins potentially. Maybe similar to like the one Persephone has, I'm not sure. There's going to be a jump stamp, recall skin, and level up all in that theme. And then we'll get more into the adventure later, but there's a few skins that are adventure related here for Kukulkan, Arachne, Atlas, Bacchus, Guan Yu, and Rama. So those are going to be related to the new adventure that's coming in patch 10.1, or maybe even patch 10.2, but sometime in early Season 10 we're going to be getting a new adventure mode, which we'll get more into in a second, as you can see down here. New Thanatos skin as well, but apparently this one is not adventure related. That'll just be like a new Thanatos skin in patch 10.1. And then in 10.2 we're going to have the Buckwheat Bundle Part 2, so it looks like it's going to be kind of a pretty major thing here with these buckwheat skins, and maybe not even necessarily skins. It looks like it's just cosmetics and things. So you're going to get a fountain, global emote, death stamp, and ward in that one. As mentioned in the previous data mining, we're also going to be getting a Jormungand and Nidhogg skin, which it says 9.12 here, but I doubt it is actually coming in 9.12 because unless it's trying to like hype up the new adventure, because Nidhogg seems to be related to the new adventure that's coming. Which let's just get into right now. So I will go over pretty much everything we have here, because if you may not have seen my previous videos, I want to like kind of tie it all together and not just cover the new stuff, because it's an adventure mode. You want to know like as much as you can about it. So yeah, as it says here, we initially thought it was potentially going to be coming at the end of this season, but it looks like it's going to be coming at the start of Season 10. Seems like you need to accumulate 32,000 gold to win, so somehow maybe if you're like, it's going to be a sort of PvE boss fight style adventure by the sounds of it, so maybe you get gold by like accumulating trophies from bosses and selling them back to people. I'm not really sure on that. It seems like it's going to be 5 teams competing against each other, so it is going to be some kind of PvP aspects, but maybe not PvP as in you're fighting other players. It might be like it's 5 teams all doing the PvE, and whoever can get the best score kind of wins the match or something like that. There's going to be spawn invulnerability, boss buffs, mini boss trophies, which these seem like maybe what you're going to be selling back for gold or something like that. There seems to be ships that can move, and there's an alert saying that, so like, you know, your ship is moving, or whatever. Hire me as the Smite announcer, by the way. Nidhogg obviously coming. You have slain Nidhogg, capture his skull, so he seems like he's going to be one of the major bosses in the adventure, which is why that Jormungand skin, like, it might be coming in 10.1, or it might actually be coming next patch, and it's like a way to kind of advertise the adventure for 10.1. That's definitely possible. And yeah, as you can see here, the Dragon Scale and the Dragon Skull have been delivered, so these are probably those trophies that I was talking about, where like you, maybe you go out, you sail out on your ship that can move, and you go slay a boss, and then you bring that loot back, and on your ship and you sell it to like merchants or something like that, and that's how you accumulate this gold that will get you to like be able to win the game. Again, I'm just kind of extrapolating here and like speculating based on the limited information we have on the data mining. Obviously, we'll get more information on this. Most likely next patch's data mining, the final patch of Season 9's data mining, will have a ton more information on this, so if you don't want to miss that one, definitely subscribe, because we'll probably get a bunch more Season 10 info in that as well, since it's the patch before 10.1. Normally, the patch right before some stuff gets released is when like a lot of big things get into the data mining, because like that's their last chance to kind of add them to the game. There's like a line here that seems to come up. Nidhogger has retreated to the Nastrond, which is like a field of like vines or thorns or something like that, I believe, in Norse mythology. Defeat him in his lair and claim his trophies. So yeah, again, this seems like you're maybe going to sail out to the Nastrond and you're going to fight Nidhogger, defeat him, claim his trophies, bring them back, and then sell them back to the shop or something to get gold. Killing Nidhogger, I'm guessing the skull gives a buff, so interesting, you're going to get some kind of buff from that. Could Nidhogger be the boss, you win the trophy, and maybe that unlocks the skin or the possibility of purchasing the skin. So I'm not sure about this line, given the fact that the skin might be coming for Jormungandr in 9.12. Well, we're not really sure on that. If it's coming in 9.12, most likely that's not how you're going to get the skin if the adventure's coming in 10.1 and the skin's coming in 9.12. But if they are releasing in the same patch, it's possible this just hasn't been updated, because as I said here, initially we thought the adventure was going to be coming in 9.12 and it turns out 10.1. This is definitely possible that the Jorm skin is not coming in 9.12 and it will actually be here in the 10.1 launch patch with the adventure, and maybe getting that skin will be somehow related to the adventure, like maybe you can get it for free via the adventure, or you can buy it, or maybe just playing the adventure unlocks the ability to buy it. That's probably more likely. I don't think they will really give it away for free, but they might do, you never know. So we have monster and boss rewards, boss monster unknown, music themes for 2 here, so it looks like potentially there's going to be a bunch of cosmetics that like for defeating different monsters in the adventure, maybe you're going to get like either the ability to purchase, or most likely if it's just cosmetics like music themes and fountain skins and emotes and stuff, you'll most likely get those for free, I would imagine, but like maybe actual god skins you're gonna have to pay for. Also here it says boss Arachne, loading screen, boss Cuckoo, announcer pack, so it does seem like maybe some of the bosses are going to be like maybe larger versions or redesigned versions even potentially of the gods that we have in game. Because up here it did show that we have 6 adventure related skins for these gods, 2 of which are Kukulkan and Arachne, so you have to imagine there would also be Atlas, Bacchus, Guan Yu and Rama bosses as well that you maybe have to fight, and you can get some kind of related cosmetics for those, like announcer packs and loading screens. So it seems like this adventure is going to be really tied into cosmetics, like things you do in the adventure. The bosses you beat allow you to either get for free cosmetics or the ability to purchase them, something like that. There's going to be a Denton avatar, a Surtur avatar, Golem Ice avatar, which maybe this is like a mini boss. They said like mini bosses a little bit further up here. Where was that? Yeah, mini boss trophy. So maybe there's like major bosses, which is going to be like Nidhogg and like maybe the gods or something like that. And there's also going to be mini bosses, which is maybe like Denton, Golem Ice, maybe even Surtur, even though Surtur is technically a god. Or is he a god? I don't know. Is the design of the fire giant? I don't actually know if Surtur is a god or not, so let me know down below. And then more of this buckwheat thing. So there's buckwheat toaster, loading frame, buckwheat toaster B2, and buckwheat toaster space B2. I don't really know how to decipher this, to be honest, but you're going to get some loading frames, loading screens, and avatars for doing that as well. And yeah, down here, this is from a little bit older of a data mining, but there's also going to be boss monster Sonanos, which is going to give you an avatar skin, boss monster Unfortunate, and boss Spider Eyes. I feel like maybe boss Spider Eyes is potentially the trophy you get for defeating Arachne, maybe, because they did say you're going to defeat the bosses and get trophies for it and maybe bring those back and sell or something like that, or they unlock the ability to purchase cosmetics. Maybe the Spider Eyes is like the trophy you get from killing Arachne or something like that. There's some other things as well, like Hammer Touch and Hammer Sanctified, so not really sure on that, but it could be like maybe items you can get that you can like upgrade and sanctify, something like that. In previous data minings, there's also been mentions of Season 10 Conquest as well, but pretty much nothing. I imagine next patch we're going to get like some more actual concrete information on what's going to be going on with Season 10 Conquest from the data mining. Because as I said, the patch right before things get released is normally when they start like sliding things into the game in preparation for that patch. And finally, we have some mentions of Deity 125 already, which is pretty interesting because we just initially got that information about Deity 124, about it potentially being the Manticore, but we're really not certain about that. It could be like Polyphemus, it could be a few others, which we'll cover down here. But yeah, mentions of God 125 potentially being Surtur. So there's Surtur skin 1 and 2, and that is usually only for gods, so if it's going to be some kind of like, you know, for example, if Surtur was the Fire Giant, which he kind of is, the Fire Giant is like loosely based on its design off of Surtur, and so it wouldn't have 2 different skins for the Fire Giant, if you get what I mean by that. So like, usually it's only a god that's going to have like multiple skin designs for like a certain thing. If it's like a boss monster or something, it's not going to have 2 different skins, so that's why he thinks it's potentially going to be a god here. This would also make sense with potentially a Season 10 new Conquest map, because the current Fire Giant is designed around Surtur, and so maybe they would want to redesign the Fire Giant. Probably not make it not the Fire Giant, like it'll still be the Fire Giant, but they redesign it to have its own unique kind of design and not be necessarily so much based off Surtur, and then they can release Surtur as an actual god. So like that would make sense with the Season 10 launch, I suppose. So he says, we think this could point to Surtur as a playable god, but the title of Man-Eater doesn't fit with him. Yeah, but that's going to be for 124, right? Oh no, so this god is actually potentially going to be competing with the one that we thought might be Manticore or Polyphemus. So this is interesting. It feels like they're trying to throw a lot of different things in here. Maybe Hi-Rez are trying to throw us off with the data mining a little bit. Because obviously they don't want their big Season 10 first god release of the Decade of Smite to be spoiled by data mining. So I imagine they're probably throwing a bunch of different things in here to try and throw people off. So like it could be Surtur, it could be something related to the Manticore and Polyphemus. To be honest, it could be anything at this point. Another theory is that the character could be a giant like Polyphemus and they copied Surtur to prototype him, which would lead to this confusion. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and maybe it's actually not Surtur then, because maybe they used the Fire Giant's model to, for example, develop Polyphemus, because Polyphemus is a giant, and the Fire Giant is obviously huge. He's like probably got a bigger model than Jormungandr, I would say, obviously when he's not ulting. So it would make sense that they would use like the Fire Giant's model as like a base to develop a gigantic god. Because Polyphemus is also like, he's a humanoid giant, so it would make more sense to use, for example, the Fire Giant's model over like Jormungandr's model or Cthulhu's model that aren't quite necessarily like human shaped. So yeah, my bets actually is that this is going to be like some kind of giant like I think this is probably more accurate, that they were using like the Fire Giant, because the Fire Giant is like modeled after Surtur, as I said. So maybe they were using the Fire Giant's model to kind of test and develop Polyphemus, and that's why it's kind of lingering in the game files, even though it's not going to actually be Surtur. But it could absolutely be Surtur. We don't really know yet, and we'll probably get more information on that in the next patch. He's going to have a group effect device that reduces physical protections and healing, so nothing too crazy there. Plenty of gods have these kind of effects. Has a slow as well, and spawns explosive barbs that can stuck other people. I assume it means that can stick to other people, because that's kind of what barbs do. So he'll like throw some barbs at someone, and they kind of like work like a Semtex in Call of Duty or whatever, like a sticky bomb where they go to them. Or I guess Rat's old Acorn, the really old one where it was a sticky bomb. And yeah, as we know, Deity 124 was cancelled, which was going to be Maman Brigitte, or some kind of voodoo god, but probably Maman Brigitte. That one was cancelled, so it's not going to be coming this season. Might not even be coming next season, they said. They might just be cancelling it entirely, or they might be delaying it. They're not really sure yet. And so we know that was cancelled, and so it seems like they're going to be jumping to Deity 125 in January instead of like going to 124. And yeah, he's got a few other candidates down here. So Manticore was what we initially thought it might be, but it's probably not going to be that anymore. I think that was just like a reference to Manticore spikes, and the name Man-Eater kind of put people onto that, but it could also be Polyphemus, as he was a savage man-eating giant, so like that would make sense as well for Polyphemus. And I think this is significantly more likely than the Manticore at this point, that it's going to be Polyphemus, which would be really cool in my opinion. Also, Antiphates, if that's how you say it. Typhon as well, which probably unlikely considering we have Typhon's Fang in the game, but not completely unheard of considering we have Kronos in the game. We also have Kronos Pendant, so it could be Typhon. And Lamia and Amit, which would be discarded as they are female and so not a king. Interesting, yeah. If it's King of the Man-Eaters, probably not going to be a female, but could potentially be, but we'll see. And would be a hunter dealing physical damage, medium area damage, and medium single target damage. So nothing too crazy there. Interesting that it's going to be a hunter. I guess the explosive barbs kind of makes a bit of sense for a hunter. Maybe even that's their basic attacks or something. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, that's all we got for the 9.11 data mining. Some pretty interesting stuff here, and it seems like it's kind of leading up to where we're going to get a ton more information on Season 10 pretty soon. And obviously when 9.12 launches in December, we'll probably get a bunch more data mining on that and some really cool stuff being revealed. And then, you know, probably around like late December, early January is when we're going to get like proper official reveals from Hi-Rez on like stuff that's going to be coming in Season 10. Hopefully a new Conquest map, but we'll see. And yeah, should be very cool. So I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.